Welcome to this edition of Educare Magazine, a platform where we celebrate professionals in different spheres of life. My name is Dr. Mrs. Orie Van, the program coordinator of Educare Magazine. And today we are going to look at how women can be empowered to accelerate progress. We have a lot of speakers lined up that will give us insight into empowering women to accelerate progress. Because we're celebrating International Women's Day 2024, we have a host of speakers. Thank you so much. Just sit back. When we come back, these guests will come up to give their speech. Thank you. Esteemed guests, our speakers, colleagues, friends, and other professionals in the women fold, it is with great pleasure and a profound sense of purpose that I stand before you today on Educare Magazine platform to commemorate with all women globally as we celebrate International Women's Day under the theme Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. As we gather to celebrate the remarkable achievements, resilience, potentials, and contributions of women worldwide, it is also a poignant reminder of the urgent need to invest in women's empowerment as a catalyst for progress and prosperity for all. Investing in women is not merely a matter of moral obligation, it is a strategic imperative that yields transformative benefits for societies, economies, and humanity as a whole. When women are empowered, economies grow, communities thrive, and nations prosper. Yet, despite the undeniable evidence of the positive impact of women's empowerment, significant barriers and disparities persist in hindering the full realization of women's rights and potential. Over the years, we have witnessed remarkable strides towards gender equality in various phases of life. Women have shattered barriers, challenged stereotypes, and paved the way for future generations to dream bigger and reach higher. From boardrooms to battlefields, laboratories to legislatures, women have proven time and again that they are powerful agents of change, capable of transforming societies and shaping a better future for all. Today, as we reflect on the theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, let us reaffirm our commitment to unlocking the limitless potential of women and girls around the world. Let us recognize that investing in women is not just the right thing to do, it is the smart thing to do. It is an investment in the future of our world, a future that is equitable, inclusive, and sustainable. Investing in women means providing access to quality education and lifelong learning opportunities, enabling them to acquire the knowledge, skills, and confidence to pursue their dreams and aspirations. It means ensuring access to healthcare services, reproductive rights, and maternity care, safeguarding their health and well-being and that of their families. Investing in women also entails creating an enabling environment that promotes gender equality, eliminates discriminatory practices, and empowers women to participate fully and equally in all phases of life. It means breaking down barriers to economic participation, closing the gender pay gap, and ensuring equal opportunities for leadership and decision making. Moreover, investing in women means amplifying their voices, recognizing their agency, and valuing their contributions to the society. It means challenging the gender stereotypes, addressing harmful social norms, and fostering a culture of respect, dignity, and inclusion where women are celebrated as equal partners and agents of change. As we embark on this collective journey of investing in women, let us remember that our actions today will shape the world of tomorrow. Let us commit to advancing gender equality and women's empowerment in all endeavors, whether in the workplace, the community, or the halls of fame. Let us harness the power of collaboration, innovation, and solidarity to celebrate progress towards a future where every woman and girl can live a life of freedom, opportunity, and fulfillment. Together, let us invest in women. For when we invest in women, we invest in the future of humanity. With me today to this conversation are women who have excelled in their various fields. I have with us today the following guest speakers. I have Dr. Ambassador Victoria Omoniho Ehumu, the Group Managing Director and CEO of Transworld Security Systems Limited, Lagos-based Access Protection Company, and the President of School of Management and Security, the foremost training institution in Nigeria. And with us today is Antonia Atebe Eka. Antonia Atebe Eka is an education leader and entrepreneur, passionate advocate for girls' education. She's the CEO of Antorial Academy. Her proven expertise are in school leadership and administration, curriculum development and instruction, teacher coaching and mentoring, empowering girls in education, and a former principal at British Nigerian Academy, Abuja. Demi Samande. She's the founder of Majors Holdings, the CEO of Majors Chesterfield Limited, a foremost furniture company, and director of Majors Academy, a Pan-African furniture manufacturing training institute. My name is Dr. Mrs. Orivan, the research specialist and CEO of Natafam David Consulting Limited, and the program director of Educare Magazine. So without wasting our time, I welcome Dr. Ambassador Victoria Omoniho Ekomo. Welcome, ma.
Today I am very honored to be addressing you on the International Women's Day on the theme Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress during this International Women's Day. So Nigeria needs to push for reforms, investing in the social, economic, cultural, and political potential of women. The progress of the country has in its action to foster equal opportunities for women in every sector of society. The world is facing many crises, ranging from geopolitical conflicts to soaring poverty levels and escalatory impacts of climate change. These challenges can only be addressed by solutions that empower women. By investing in women, we can spark change and speed the transition towards a healthier, safer, and more equal world for all. The theme drives home the crucial role of women, women play in leading social economy and cultural progressions, and accentuates the call to invest in their empowerment. Recent data from the World Economic Forum show that women remain challenged in different aspects of their lives, from their earnings to access to quality education and leadership positions. The global gender pay gap is 16%, and only 26% of managerial positions are filled by women. 130 million girls are out of school, and globally, women hold only 25% of parliamentary seats. As we can see, even in our country, with all the kidnappings that we're having in Nigeria, we have so many children out of school, and most of them are women, are girls, girl children, meaning the future of the girl child in the north is at stake, and women education is a problem. So gender balance is a strategic imperative because it reduces blind spots, eliminates groupthink, and enhances decision making according to Ivana Osage, CEO of PWR Advisory. In today's complex business landscape, gender balance becomes even more critical at the decision table. Our collective insight, perspectives, and experience are our compass through these challenging times, ensuring superior outcomes for all stakeholders, she said. So investing in women goes beyond empowerment, as we tend to think of empowerment. Investing in women to accelerate progress would include, amongst other things, redefining work culture, implementing mandates, unconscious bias, training in the workplace, as well as a clear safety initiative that protects women in all fronts. So inclusion is not a favor done to women. Instead, evidence shows the potential transformative impact that investing in women can have on economic growth, poverty reduction, and social well-being. So research by McKinsey and Company said that advancing gender equality could add $12 trillion to global GDP by 2025. So investing in women is not only a moral imperative, but also a strategic necessity for accelerating progress and fostering sustainable development. How can you have a population in the world and half of them are just, because of their gender, they are just relegated to take care of children, or they are relegated to the background? But if all these people, everybody in the world, as we also know, even when we are in school, women in most cases top men. So why is it that when they get married, they are thrown off the workforce? But if we can change this narrative and make women, become a productive part of this, of the workplace and of the economy, then of course it's going to double. And instead of us crying that there's a problem in the world, we will all benefit. And and they will also help to ensure that we don't have hooligans as children, because they are part of those that in fact also train our children. So investing in women is not only a moral imperative, but also a strategic necessity for accelerating progress and fostering sustainable development. Investing in women means recognizing and addressing the multifaceted need and aspiration of women across all sectors of the economy. This translates to providing equal access to education, healthcare, financial services, and economic opportunities, and empowering women to unleash their full potential and thrive in their respective fields. So Monique, Deputy Chairperson for the African Union Commission, in her interview with Business Day, said, International Women's Day 2024 coincided with the launch of the second decade of implementation of Agenda 2063. Africa aspires for each of its countries to achieve or exceed a middle income status by 2033. International Women's Day 2024 theme reminds us that the more we unlock women's potential, the faster we will achieve the target. So women in Africa, like everywhere, are the backbone of society. Tell me any man that is born of without a woman, or that is not nurtured by a woman, or that does not have a mother, you know. So women are in fact the backbone of the society. So therefore, let us all commit to reversing the trends, curb avoidable maternal mortality, grant access to education and skills, ensure parity in the workplace and equal pay, secure land and property rights, let affordable finance flow, open borders for her trade and thrive, break the glass ceiling for her to lead, and let her show the way to peace building and sustainable security. So investing in women is not simply a matter of financial resources. It's about dismantling systematic barriers that hinder their full potential. This includes dismantling discriminatory laws and policies, promoting equal access to education, healthcare, and opportunities, and tackling harmful cultural norms that perpetuate gender inequality. I'm a widow, so I know exactly that women, the way women are treated, the way widows are treated, something has to be done about it. The laws are wrong. And even the way women, even the law treats women, a woman at times they say cannot bail because she's a woman. So that means even the chairmen of banks and the MDs of banks, they cannot bail because they just happen to be. Meanwhile, the guard can bail because he's a man. These are laws that are archaic and irrelevant and must be they are discriminatory and must be dismantled. And I know, like I said, widows, the way the society treats widows, something has to be done about it. So a 2023 survey published by UN Women and UNDP shows that no country has achieved full gender parity. A 2022 survey published by the World Bank Gender Data Portal shows that the labor force participation among Nigerian females is 52.1%, while for males it is 65.5%. Data compiled between 2016 and 2020 shows that while male Nigerian business owners are 66%, female business owners are 34%. What a far cry. And even the female businesses, they are underfunded, unlike the male businesses. So a 2018 survey by the same source showed that adult literacy is lower among women, that's 52.7%, than among men, which is 71.2% in Nigeria.
Today, I want to focus on a powerful equation for progress. Investing in women accelerates progress. In a world facing complex challenges, achieving gender equality is not just a moral imperative. It is a strategic necessity, and it is achievable when there is inclusiveness and equity. When we invest in women, we invest in a more prosperous, peaceful, and sustainable future for all. This presentation will explore the reasons why investing in women is essential for progress across all sectors. Inclusiveness, in my words, means to be included, to have equal access, to be part of a thing, to have a say, have a sense of belonging, being a stakeholder, being treated fairly and equally, being embraced irrespective of your race or gender. It is giving equal opportunities without discrimination in governance and leadership. This
This year's theme for the International Women's Day is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. Working around this theme, studies show that socio-economic investments in women yield generational returns that impact on the society as a whole. Verifiable data across the world buttresses this fact. We're going to take a look at a few women, or some women, who have been notable in this regard. I'd like to start with Akinwumi Adesina, the president of the African Development Bank. Speaking at the first ever investment forum in South Africa, said, if women had the resources available to men, the gross domestic product, GDP of the world, will go up by 26%. He reiterated and says 98% of women repay their loans, meaning the men do not pay their loans. This also means that women are bankable. According to data from African Guarantee Fund, one can infer that women-owned businesses which had received support from the fund are less likely to default. Their non-performing loan ratio currently stands between 1 and 1.5%. This is a stark contrast to the global average, including men, of 4 to 6%. Women are bankable. Our history and the present is replete with women who blaze trails in their respective fields and those who still are riding tall waves of life. Let's take a look at some of these women. Chief Olufunmilayo Ransom Kuti, MON, was an educator, a political campaigner, and a women's rights activist. Chief Margaret Ekpo was also a women's rights activist and social mobilizer. Hajia Gambo Sawaba, a women's rights activist, politician, and philanthropist. We all know the very renowned Grace Alele Williams, OON. She was a professor of mathematics in education and was also the first Nigerian woman to receive a doctorate and the first Nigerian female vice chancellor at the University of Benin. Dr. Dora Akuili, also of blessed memory. Today, we have Chief Folake Sholanke, SAN, CON. She is the first woman to join the Senior Advocates of Nigeria as a lawyer, administrator, and social critic. We also have Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, the first female chairperson of the First Bank. Mrs. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, GCON, the first female director of the World Trade Organization. We move to the civil sector. Mrs. Folashade Yemi Asan, head of the Federal Civil Service of Nigeria, the body that employs the highest number of labor in our country. We move to the media. Mo Abudu. We all know Mo Abudu. She owns a very reputable organization and media center, Ebony Live. I believe that we can all connect and resonate with that. We have Sandra Agwebo, the lady mechanic. Tobi Amusa in sports, Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija in oil and gas, and the latest being the first female GMD of Zenith Bank PLC, Dame Adora Imeoji. These are women who are making the mark and are trailblazers today.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Dennis Amande, and I think when we're talking about International Women's Day, I think it's very advantageous for us to really understand that everybody's story is not necessarily the same. And no matter what side of the coin that you're on, I think it's very important to know, the challenges that women face globally and to understand the roles that we all play, whether female or male, in, you know, sort of addressing those issues, helping those issues, clearing the road for a lot of the solutions to begin to come through for those issues. When I think about International Women's Day, I think about all the women that have sort of extended their hands to me and reached down to help me to get to where I am today. I wouldn't be sat in this seat if I had not received countless help from both women and men who understand the power that women have within them, the strength that women have within them, the capacity to really contribute to global matters, to solutions. Women are indeed, in my eyes, solution finders. I believe I am also a solution finder. And in today's conversation, I'm really looking forward to delving into the ways in which we can all become solution finders to the matters of women on a global stage.
Once again, I thank all our speakers for all the insightful presentations today. And I thank you all for listening. After this, we are going to go into a question and answer session. Thank you so much.
One of the ways individuals can support women empowerment is by encouraging women to the girl child to get their education, because that is very critical. Because if you don't have the education, you know, there are a lot of things that you will not be able to harness in the world. So when a lady is educated, then they say train a woman and you train a nation. When you train one woman, that woman will go train all her children, nurture them, and then, you know, it's a ripple effect. Yeah. So that's a way you can help empower women. Another one is providing jobs for women. You know, people at times these days with the high unemployment rate, you know, when you have a position posted, you know, you can have so many people, you know, applying for that singular job, and there will be both male and female. So if you can, as an individual, try to have a balance, not just hire only men, hire women too for these jobs, then you also be empowering women, because at least when they have a job, they can also take care of themselves, take care of their home, and they will be a productive part of the economy. So that's a way to go. And I personally, as an employer of labor, we give equal treatment to both men and women, and we, you know, we make we allow them to perform with no discrimination, because I have enjoyed it. I remember even my husband, when he made me the MD, some people were like, why is he even allowing me see the accounts? I should not even see the bank accounts. I should not sign on the bank accounts. You know, I should just be a woman, you know. Then why should I be signing on the bank accounts? You know, so give women equal opportunity. I have tried to do that, and I've seen that while the men are performing, the women are also excelling and, you know, contributing. I even have one of them here, Tope. I have another one, my secretary, Kosoko, you know, and they, you know, they do perform excellently well. When the job is hard, I throw it to them, and they'll find a way, they'll solve it. Before we even talk about the laws, the customs and traditions have to be looked into and amended. for equality, because in fact most of the customs are very what will I say?
Anti-women.
They're against women. They are more. They are not for equality at all. They only recognize the man. And in most traditions, they will say when people are gathered, men, a woman comes. So what do you have to do? You have no place here. I remember even when my husband was alive, people couldn't understand that he wanted, even when they are talking, he wants me to sit by his side. It's like, she's not supposed to be here. I mean, you can see the body language and the this thing, and so some of those customs and traditions must be changed. Then we now have to look at the laws to also, amend the laws. It's like those old laws that have been there for years, like the one you're talking about, only a man can bail someone, and a situation where even the employer, if he happens to be a woman, cannot bail, but those she employs can bail because their gender is different, they are male, which is laughable. So those things have to be changed, so that at least we can live a more equitable life, because things have changed, so that it has to be changed along. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Everyone must ensure that all their female children are trained, they are given education. They should be trained along with the boys. Then those employers of labor should also ensure that they employ women in their places of work, and also ensure that there is parity in pay for both men and women, and they are given equal opportunities to progress in the workplace. And if it's possible, arrange daycare in a place for women. That's somewhere that's friendly for women to have children. And if you can't have daycare in the location, you can also support women who are having children. Their maternity leave, when they are on leave, make it possible for them to be able to take care of their children, because at times people lose their jobs when they are on maternity leave. At times they don't even get paid for that period. So we should try to support the woman, because without procreation we cannot continue, then resources. We know that women are quite enterprising, but without the resources they cannot really perform in their businesses. So we should ensure that we also support the women with resources, so that whatever business they want to they want to carry out, they should be able to perform those businesses and thrive in the businesses. Politics. I know there was a percentage of, they said there's a percentage that should be reserved for women. We know that women don't have the money to do all these campaigns. So when there's a political space issue, there should be a percentage left for them to make it easier for them to get into those positions. And then when there are also appointments, women should be given equal opportunity to be appointed to these positions. We've seen that when they are given those opportunities, and when it's on credit, when it's by merit, they perform so well. Remember due process, Konjo Willa, Ezekwesili, and when it's by credit, by merit, they do perform excellently well. So why can't we even have a woman president? We have seen that countries that have prime ministers that are female, they have been more innovative and they have even performed excellently well. So Nigeria, the biggest problem Nigeria has is leadership.
True.
It's not that we don't have the resources and all of that. We have human capital and all of that. The biggest problem we have had is leadership, and then corruption, and then amassing the wealth instead of utilizing the wealth that we have to take care of the populace. So also give women opportunity in that, so. And I'm so happy, like I saw the lady who was just made the Zenith Bank, the lady who was just made MD, CEO of Zenith Bank, and very, very feminine. Yeah. And some guys, instead of appreciating it, I mean, she's feminine, beautiful, she's intelligent, she's a doctor, everything. They're like, oh, some people are making some snide remarks about her. I mean, she's supposed to look like a man.
Exactly.
She's a woman, and she has all the shape and beauty and everything. So, and she's intelligent. So they say brains and beauty. So we can do it. So we need more of that, and I'm happy that we started having women as chairmen of banks and MDs of banks, and we see how they perform. They are less corrupt. And yeah, the women are, yes. So we need that for our country and for our companies too, to move the nation and businesses forward.
Like I reiterated in my presentation about education. So education is a powerful tool that can be used to effect change, and the challenges being faced, especially when it has to do with gender equality. So using education, it will expose the students to, positive role models. Like I mentioned, I reeled out a list of names of women who are thriving. So by educating the girls, by exposing them to these role models, it can actually cause a change and make them strive and foster to achieve greater heights, and not being deterred by their male counterparts, because the women that I mentioned their names are women who are dominating in predominantly male-dominated spheres, right? So we have to keep doing this, educating the girls and exposing them, so it breaks down every limitation and assumptions they may have, from not receiving quality education. So this will create a generation that has values, and then they will also contribute and support and have themselves being included in all aspects of the society. There are two main reasons why you invest in women. Two main reasons. First, you empower them to reinvest in their community, especially, having access first to education, and then having access to resources. When women have access to resources, they will just turn things around, which is what the women we have. I mentioned women in various sectors. I didn't concentrate only on education. I mentioned women in media, women in politics, women in oil and gas. So when they have access to education, these are two main reasons why you should invest in women. One, in education, and two, having access to resources and the opportunities, so they can now improve their families, and they will be able to bring to the table different experiences, you know, they will be able to bring to the table and have effective solutions in areas like businesses and healthcare and even in climate change. Well, I would say that government needs, this is where government needs to come in, you know. So when government comes in, it attracts investment that that has to do with investing in girls, because you find out that when you have when people are asking for grants that has to do with investing in girls, not just in education, but issues bordering around healthcare, you know, when investors hear about this, they are likely to come in more and invest in this area, because, you know, I mean, they have to be the women have to thrive economically, and the benefits at the end of the day, the benefits in the long run is for everyone. So we keep reiterating, invest in women, invest in healthcare, let them have access, let them have equal access to resources. Small loans, giving women in business small loans, and financial literacy. Have you heard of WinBiz?
Yes.
Women in business.
Yeah.
You know how large that group is.
Yes.
So yes, so that is a very successful initiative and a very successful program that is being used to empower women. So programs offering small loans and financial literacy training will help women entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, just like the WinBiz. I really want to lend my voice to this cause and say, give women equal access. If women can rule in the World Bank space, why can we not rule in the upper chamber in our country, where decisions and policies are made? In my own sphere, I encourage that by always constantly encouraging and giving back. Constantly encouraging and giving back, and advocating that as a woman you don't need to take the back seat. Even when you're in the classroom, because of course as an educator I have been in the classroom teaching both boys and girls. So where I see that there are more males responding, I move to the girls. I encourage them that they can do it, they can thrive, and they must not take the back seat. That's what a man can do, a woman can do even better.
When we think about women, we're talking multipliers. Women multiply whatever it is that is handed to them. It's just our nature, we cannot help it. So when you're thinking about economic, benefits and how women contribute to it, you are 10xing any sort of resource that you're putting into any initiative, any program, any problem. You bring a woman to the table and she's already thinking about ways to amplify. And I think that when we remove women from that equation, we're doing ourselves a great injustice, because what we're doing effectively is we're removing our solution finders from the conversation. And I don't see a world where that has been beneficial to anybody, whether male or female. Now, even in the problems that we face globally, I even when you don't necessarily see women at the forefront, don't be mistaken, they're in the background. Yeah. They have influence in many different areas. they just don't take the credit for it a lot of the time, and they're not necessarily given the credit either. But I don't see any topic, any dialogue, any innovation, any initiatives that don't have some sort of influence from women. And I think what we're really talking about today is how do we begin to recognize the power of the women, whether it's behind the scenes, and how do we allow her to now amplify that capacity to do more? Because I think right now we are holding women down quite a fair bit. Yes, so I think we do ourselves, we're losing a huge amount of money economically, I think, every time we have these conversations, and women are not put in positions of power in order for them to amplify and to duplicate their success stories. I think it also goes beyond platforms, first and foremost. As somebody who has a platform of my own, I think there's power in storytelling. There's power in sharing. There's power in knowledge. The moment women are included in those conversations, you find that they have a world of knowledge to share. So I think when you have a platform, whether you are, somebody in business, whether you're an influencer who creates content, whether you're a conversationalist, whether you are a business person, or even just a 9-to-5 worker, I think you can do a great deal by allowing Women Matters to be part of your conversations. I personally benefit a great deal. I have a business podcast, and I invite guests onto the show, and we talk about a world of different topics, and a lot of those topics are either affecting women directly or indirectly. And I think in holding those conversations and including women in those conversations and addressing a lot of those issues on a platform where you have a captivated audience is one of the biggest things you can do. And I think we underestimate that. When I sit down with somebody like you and I have a conversation and we bring up matters of women's interests, you are somebody who has been in your industry, your field for a number of years. You have a lot of knowledge. Yeah. You have a lot to say. You have a lot to share. When you speak to a woman like me, it goes beyond what you're saying. It's also your story. I'm learning from your story. I'm learning from your journey. And I think in those conversations happening, the more people that we can engage in those type of conversations, it becomes so powerful without you even trying. It's gone are the days where we take matters and we hide them in closets. We bring it out in the open and we conversate, and we include women in those conversations. And I think naturally solutions become sort of very, very visible on the surface. And like you said, like we just said earlier, women are multipliers, and it's effortless. So as influencers, if you're listening to this, have more conversations. Be more inclusive of women in those conversations, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman. When you see issues that need to be addressed, don't be afraid to bring them to the forefront. If they're Women Matters or not, continue the conversations. And I also think that, like I said at the beginning, it goes beyond just being an influencer on camera. You're an influencer in your home. I am a product of a father who was very pro-women in our home. And I like to believe it's very evident in me today. I carry it without me even knowing. It's just part of my my makeup. That's how I was raised. So he was an influencer within my home. So you don't need to necessarily have a camera. You're an influencer in every room you step into, every conversation you have. Be intentional to be an advocate for women, women matters, women issues, and include women in those conversations. And you'll find that your influence goes way beyond anything you can possibly imagine. And if you're able to amplify it with a camera and a mic, by all means do so. For me, it's not so much about let's bring in more women into the industry. For me, it's let's solve the problems of the industry so that women can thrive in it. So there's actually business for them to be done. you know, like I mentioned earlier, there are rooms I've walked into and it's like, who are you? There's conversations I've had when I've been with my colleagues who are male and they've deferred to them rather than me. And and again, I don't necessarily take offense to it. I understand this is the world that we live in, but I also understand very deeply, and I'm very passionate about this next statement I'm going to make. There's never been a better time for women to be in business. My ancestors had it far worse than me, so I don't think I have a problem. When I walk into a room, I don't walk with the misconception that I'm going to be facing fire in that room. I walk in with my shoulders high, my confidence, full confidence with my chest out. And whatever I meet there, I stand firm. I don't move. I don't shift. I know when to apply my femininity to the conversation. I know when to stand back and let things play out, whatever direction they want to play out in. I know how to graciously say thank you even when I face a rejection. But in the back of the room, I might vent to my family members, my friends, and say, how could they? Can you imagine they said this to me? But when I step out of that room, I am coming back out with the same level of confidence I had when I first faced it. And I don't take anything personally. I would never walk out of a meeting and say I didn't get it because I'm a woman. I wouldn't, because how do I know that? Unless they've directly told me. And a lot of the time they don't. You might see it in the mannerisms and all of that, but you don't always necessarily hear the words all the time. So the way in which I handle rejection is that God has sent me on a mission, and he has told me that mission is not going to be easy. So I already know that there's going to be trials and tribulations along the way. But my job is to take it in my stride and not to be so defeated by it that I give up. My job is to stay in the game. And secondly, whenever it is that the industry gives me an opportunity to address its issues, I'm confident enough to step forward. I don't shy away. And I think that's really one of the things that the industry can definitely sort of benefit from. It's just people coming to the forefront, women feeling the enough confidence to step forward to say, oh, I have a solution to that, or I have an idea to that, right? And, I watched a video recently and a lady was saying that this is not the season to be quiet. This is not the season to be shy. This is not the season to be private. This is the season to scream and shout and tell the world what it is that you have to offer. And I really want women to be able to do that. And I think one of the problems in our industry, we don't have enough women doing that, because they're in those companies. Those women are in the offices. They're in the back rooms. They're on the factory floors. They're working. It might not be as many in numbers as men, but they're there. So this is now the time for you to come forward, show those skills. Don't be shy. Come to the forefront. Tell us what you're doing. Showcase it. Go on camera. Tell the world. Share your ideas. Talk about your innovations. Don't do what the women did in those days. You invent in the back room and you let a man take credit in front of the camera. Don't do that anymore. We first need to continue conversations and address confidence. We also, like you mentioned earlier, not every woman is in a position where she has access to these stories. Not every woman is in a position to see what's going on globally, for her to understand that this is her story, not every woman's story, right? And her story can also be changed. Not every woman is there. So I think, again, many of the things that we suggested from the previous questions is, let's keep the conversations going. When I came to Nigeria, I didn't see a lot of women from my research. And when I say my research, I'm a millennial, so it's Google, right? I go online and I start looking for other women doing what I'm doing. I didn't see a lot. And there were moments when I was discouraged by the fact that I didn't see a lot of women. There were moments where I was told that you this small, you want to go and do furniture in Nigeria, of all places, you better go back to London, where things are nicer for you.
and easier thing. Or you want to go to the bush to go and look for wood. You want hangover to carry you, go. You want to give your mother hypertension. There are moments where I'll walk into market and I'll be expecting my materials and be like, what do you know? You this morning, what do you know? I'm like, I have you know, I know quite a lot. So in those moments, I think what I did personally, I started demonstrating, I started documenting and demonstrating my entire process. I started sharing my story because I figured out that if I couldn't find stories to emulate, somebody else is also struggling to find stories to emulate. So I began documenting. And in sharing those stories, I found that a lot of people who watch that content have derived a lot of confidence in it. So we need initiatives. We need to be intentional about exposing women to the opportunities that are out there. And not just the opportunities in isolation, but the stories of women who have gone before them, who have done it, right? Or even women who have attempted to do it, and all they've gotten from it is a lesson and something to teach, to share to the next person. We need initiatives that are going to continuously keep the conversations like this going. We need platforms like Educare that will share information and share these conversations to a wider audience. That has to be a standard. But beyond that, the sustainability is for us to take action. We can't just be sitting in a room talking. What are we doing? In what we are doing, in answering that question ourselves, we started training, a training academy. And the training academy is set up to train not just young men, but also women in art of furniture repair. That is us taking action. And not only just doing it in the back room, but we want to get to the point where we have to scream and shout to tell the world, this is what we're doing. This is also what we're struggling with. So if there's anything you can do to help us to make that endeavor come to light, by all means come and help us. We also have to ask for the help. And not asking for help is not just from women, it's also from men. I have a lot of male mentors and I lean on them a lot. I lean on them a lot because, you know, as much as this is a conversation about women, women are not the only ones who are knowledgeable. Women are not the only ones who can get you access. Your mentors have to think beyond, because there's a lot of males in very, very important roles and have experiences, and you won't believe it, a lot of them are also feminists. They advocate for women.
Yes.
Publicly, privately, you have to find them because they'll be beneficial to you. Because conversations that happen where you're not privy to them can be powerful if your name is mentioned. Get advocates, male and female, who can advocate for you in rooms that you are not privy to. It's very, very important. So those things are very important. Get a mentor. Yes, take action. Don't just talk about it. Take steps forward. No matter how scary it is, work on your confidence. Consume content that's going to allow you to build your confidence over a continuous basis. Never, ever, ever expose yourself to anything within your power, of course, that's going to tarnish your confidence. So be very intentional about the content you consume, the books you read, the people you surround yourself with. If you want to get anywhere, surround yourself with people who are doing it and who have done it. That's not to be snobbish, but iron sharpens iron, right? So get this person to make iron. So a sustainability plan is not one solution, it's multiple different solutions, all working in tangent, right? So these are some of the things I can think of from the top of my head that we can basically do to ensure that our conversations are in fact moving. But let me just end by just saying one thing. Doors don't open because you're a woman. Doors will never open because you're a woman. Doors open for you because your system is open for you. Doors open for you because you have the skills of what it takes for those doors to open. Doors will open for you if you can prove that you are worth the effort. Even in your mentors, be very diligent in selecting your mentors. But even in your mentors, be very careful with mentorship. Don't go into mentorship just like anything else with just the idea that because you're a woman, they should help you. Do not. You know, I think a lot of the time when we have this conversation, we get confused and we think that, we should get this opportunity to live. Even the Bible says this. The world is very scary, and it is the people take it by force. You have to be ready to stand, but not just by you've got to have some skills you bring into the table, right? So continuously be yourself, continuously evolve, continuously try to seek people out that you want them to help you, but you also have something to offer in return. I call it reverse mentorship. Whenever I'm asking for a mentor, I always ask, what can I do for you? In one way or the other, I always have to ask what it is I can do for them, because I don't just get it because I'm a woman. Okay, there has to be something that I'm offering. So I think just understand that you have to come with the attitude of service, right? As much as you need the help, and as much as the help should be given to you, don't let it be because you're a woman. Let it be because you are the individual who is worth your help. And to be honest, a lot of women, the majority of women are worth the help. They just have to contribute to that.
So on behalf of Educare Magazine, we present this Transformational Women Leaders in Entrepreneurial Award to Dr. Ambassador Victoria Monigo Ekomo for her initiatives and invaluable contributions to the advancement of women empowerment and capacity building in the security sector in Nigeria. Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you so very much. I'm indeed very honored. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being with us today for the program International Women's Day Celebration 2024. I'm sure we're going to go home with so much to work with so that our women can be empowered, and also there will be progress in every community, in every society, in the nation and globally. Thank you so much. Thank you, our guests. Thank you, our listeners. God bless.